Hey everyone, this is Floristar, and I'm actually doing a mod update spotlight on Forestry. Forestry 1.4.0 was released today. As you can see, I am in Minecraft 1.2.3. So let's go in and see what changes have been made. Alright, I'm here in my little test world that I made. And the first change is a kind of a minor one, but kind of nice for all of us who we're trying to use automation, logistics pipes, that kind of thing for our moisteners. So basically what Sengir did is, as you can see, it's not dark enough, so it's not going to work or anything. I just want to show you guys this. Is if there's nothing in the product slot right here, so this is normally where the mycelium goes. If you put water, it fills up the moistener. So now, as long as there's no mycelium in here, you can feed water capsules, water caps, you know, that kind of thing into your moisteners now, which is a small change, but pretty cool. The next change I want to go into is this blue bag down here. As you know, if I look up backpack, you have the Apiarist backpack, the miner's backpack, the digger's backpack, the forester's backpack, and the hunter's backpack. But what if you want to hold things that don't go in any of those for whatever reason? Well, Sengir created what's called the adventurer's backpack, which, if I show you, the recipe for it is 4 pieces of string, 2 wool, a chest, and 2 bones. And what's cool about this backpack is basically you can go into your config files and edit some things, and whatever you say in the config to go in that backpack, that's what will go in the backpack. So you can basically, you know, tell it, I want Nicolite to go in the backpack, and then Nicolite will go in the backpack. So that's a pretty cool addition. So the next thing that has changed dramatically from the last version of Forestry to this one is bee genetics. Bee genetics are different. Trust me. I'm actually going to make a tool right now that actually will help me explain bee genetics a little bit more rather than just me blabbing on and you guys have nothing to look at. So this is a carpenter. It needs water normally, but this is for testing purposes. So normally you have to fill this with water and give it power. So if you make this recipe that I'm showing you right now, which is 4 pieces of tin, 2 glass panes, 2 redstone, and a diamond, you get a beealyzer. This is a new device that Sengir added to Forestry so that we could, you know, understand our bee genetics a little better. So if I open it, you can see that this is a beealyzer, and you need to supply the bee, you know, to go in the slot, and provide honey or honeydew as a pacifier. So as you can see, I have some honey drops, and these go up there. And then you can analyze for general, environment, produce, and evolution. So why don't we get ourselves some bees? These over here look good. I put these down. That other one did actually spawn though, so that's a natural one, but I put these down. And bee breaking, the hive breaking is actually a little bit slower, but that's another thing on Sengir's part. He thinks it's forge, so it might be forge. And as you notice, I actually get 2 bees instead of just a queen. So I'm going to break the forest hive. And that one I actually got 3 queens. Cool. Or 3 bees. That's kind of cool. I think I know why that is, but I'll show you that in a sec. So if I take a drop of honey, I'm going to put my Meadows Princess in here. And as you can see, it goes straight to the first page. So it tells you what species it is, and that it's meadows. It tells you what its lifespan is, which is shorter. There's also a shortest. There's normal, long. It's kind of a incremental range. It's not like numbers or anything. It's, you know, there's normal, and then shorter than normal and longer than normal. Same kind of thing with the speed, which this one is slowest. Flowers, it takes flowers, which are just the normal flowers. Its fertility is 2. Basically what fertility is how many bees you will get from it when it dies. So meadows, you will get 2. You will get a princess and a drone. Its area is the area that it will affect flower growth and some other interesting effects, which this effect is none. Then if I go to the next page, you can see what climate it likes, what its temperature tolerance is, what its humidity is, what its humidity tolerance is, if it's nocturnal, if it's a flyer, and if it is cave dwelling. And then its possible production, which meadows only produce honeycomb, and its possible mutations. Now what's cool about possible mutations here is it will tell you what you bred it with and what you got, whereas the chest only tells you what you bred it with. It didn't tell you what it got, so that's kind of cool. And then this one will be the same. I'm just having it go through. If you notice, before you have it go through its unknown genome, and then after it has these tooltips, which is pretty cool. I'll put some in. As you can see, some differences. The forest fertility is 3, which I guess affects hives too, because I got 3 from the hive. Interesting. And it's very similar to meadows for the most part. Then I'll just have one of these go through. Now, what's interesting is one of the changes that he made to genetics is, say I put my forest princess in, and I put my meadows drone in. Now, when these combine together, actually I need some flowers on me. When these combine together, it will be a forest queen. Now, this doesn't mean anymore that it hasn't mutated. Basically, what happens now is if you mix a princess, a meadows princess and a forest drone, the queen will always be the exact same breed as the princess. So, if you have, another bee that likes to be in the nether, and you breed it with some other kind of bee, if you have another princess and breed it with some other kind of bee, your queen will be another queen. So if you want it to, maybe not want to be in hell, you would breed something that doesn't want to be in hell as your princess. So just something to keep in mind later. I'll explain more. So we're just going to wait for this to die, and I'll show you what happens. While those are working, I just wanted to show you something. If we look at that extra forest drone that we had, because I bred the other combination I had, you'll notice that we don't know if it's mutated yet, because now the bee chest also does not update until those queens are dead. And as you can see, there's also 25 species total. There's been a lot added, and you'll see a lot more of it later. But right now, the bees are still working, so we'll catch up with them when they're done. Alright, as you can see, this bee is almost dead. It's getting there, and it's produced some honeycomb. And the other bee, the meadows princess and forest drone, has also produced some honeycomb. Almost dead. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And die. Please? Die? Die. Die. And it's dead. Cool. So, as you can see, we got a meadows drone, a forest drone, another forest drone, and a common princess. So let's run these through the bee analyzer. See what we got. Alright, so opening the bee analyzer, putting in some honey drops for. So let's do our forest drone. So as you can see, it is a forest drone, so our active is forest. Our inactive is meadows, so on this tooltip it shows up as a forest meadows hybrid. So the lifespan is still shorter, speed still slow as flowers. And as you remember, our forest before had a fertility of 3. This one. And now the active fertility is 2. These switched places. So what's interesting is not all the attributes of a bee are linked together. Each one of these is separately inherited. So you could have, you could increase the lifespan by breeding it with other things. You can increase the speed by breeding it with other things. Each one of these are completely independent. The only things that are still linked together is species and climate and humidity all go together. So you won't get, species that, one of them likes cold, one of them doesn't like cold. If it likes cold, it'll always like cold. Those are all linked together. But everything else can be inherited separately. So if you don't know anything about Mendelian genetics, now might be the time to use Wikipedia, look it up, figure it out, learn how to draw a Punnett square. Might be a good thing if you really want to get into beekeeping. So as you can see, not much changed on this one. But if you look at this chart, the reason there's so many question marks is because basically half of these question marks are for the forest side and half the question marks are for the meadows side. So as you can see, our meadows mutated with a forest and got common. Cool. So now let's put our common in there. So you can see this is a common forest, and the speed is slower, which neither of the parents had. So slower is something that comes in with the common mutation. Everything else looks pretty similar, same sort of thing. And because this is a common forest, it's showing you that forest mixed with meadows to get common. And the other bees are pretty similar. See, this is a forest common because it mutated on the inactive one. So that's why it shows up as a forest bee, because it's on the inactive side. So, if if I'm being a little complex or vague or you don't understand what I'm saying, Sengir has actually written up a really good guide on the wiki for forestry, which will be linked below. It's under the breeding page on the left side. If you go to where it says breeding, click there. It's a really good guide. Alright, so make it sunrise. Alright, so that's basically bee breeding. Now, there have been some other changes to bees. There have actually been 3 new hives added. And these hives only spawn in certain biomes. So I'm going to switch on creative and I'm going to go out and find these hives, and I'll be right back when I find one. Alright, so I actually created a new world because it was easier and I know of a good seed to find stuff, but I actually didn't use it. But I do know a good seed. So this is one of the new hives that was added in forestry. As you can see, I'm in a jungle biome. And this is a jungle hive. I actually forgot to give myself a scoop. So this is a jungle hive. I'm going to find a good place to set down so I don't break it because I'm in creative mode. Turn off creative. Yeah, so this is a jungle hive. And if we break it, we get jungle bees. So these are the tropical bees. Pretty cool. So I'll be right back when I find the other hives to find. Actually, before we find another bee, since we're here in the jungle biome, we can check. Oh, apparently we're in a beach biome. Alright, now we're in a jungle biome. So if I put down an apiary, we can combine these bees. Actually, first, let's get some honeydew, and I can show you their traits before I combine them. So if we look at the princess, tropical, short, slower, flowers are jungle. Now, what jungle flowers are is you can either use, pick her up, these vines, which I believe, unless it's been fixed since I last checked, the current version of Forge does not let you to shear these. It's a bug with forage. I don't know what's going on. But you can shear these, which are ferns, and use those as flowers too for jungle bees. So until that's fixed in forage, use ferns. Anyway, so let's put that back in. So as you can see, it has an effect of poison! Yay! So Sengir had fun with adding effects to certain bees. Trust me, he had fun. And basically this bee, while you're within its area, which is right here, which is, 9 away from the apiary, 3 up, and 9 the other way too, you have a chance of being poisoned. So I suggest having milk on you. Now the climate's warm, humidity is damp, and the temperature tolerance and the humidity tolerance, if you could see, the temperature tolerance is both 1, which means basically it can go up 1 and down 1 from warm. The humidity tolerance is down 1, which means it can go from damp to, I believe the next one down is normal. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. Possible produce is this green hive, which I'll show you what that does later in the other world. And possible mutations, which is cool. Pick that up. So, just to show you that, I knew what I was talking about with the whole poison thing. This will be fun. I'm just going to stand here for a while, and there's a chance every second, I believe, or 5 seconds, that I will get poisoned. So, I'll probably edit out all the time it takes to wait, and as long as this pig doesn't push me out of the way. But you will see the poison happen. Alright, so I couldn't get the poison to trigger, but it's a small chance. So there's a possibility that it doesn't happen. So let's go find one of the other bees that can be found. Alright, this is the second kind of new beehive. As you can see, I am in a desert, and this is it. And I was in creative mode. This is why you should not be in creative mode. It's okay. See, nothing happened. Everything's alright. So if we break it, we get modest bees. Cool. And I'm just going to show you the traits of one of these. So as you can see, their lifespan is short, their speed is slower, flowers are cacti, fertility, area, effect. They like hot, their temperature tolerance is both 1, they like arid, which is really dry, and their humidity tolerance is up 1. And they produce this honeycomb, which is a parched comb, and they have a lot of mutations. Alright, now let's find the last one. Alright, so I went ended up in a snow biome and found a snowy hive. So if we break this, you can see we get a wintry drone and a wintry princess. So I'll show you what that looks like, wintry princess. And you can see it's short, slower flowers, effect freezing, icy up 1, normal on humidity, produces frozen combs, and has some mutations. So I think we'll get back to my main test world now and show you what each of these can do. Alright, so we're back. And I think at first I want to show you what each of the different combs will produce in an apiary. So the new combs were the frozen comb, the silky comb, the parched comb, and that's it for now. So we put a frozen comb, a silky comb, a parched comb, and we'll turn all these on and see what we get. Alright, so as you can see, this was our frozen comb, and we got honey drops and beeswax. From our silky comb, we got silky propolis and honey drops. And from our parched comb, we got honey drops and beeswax. So what is this Silky propolis? Well, if we take our Silky propolis and we centrifuge it again, you get, wait for it, nothing. That's weird. Let's try 3. Maybe there's a chance for you to get it. Yep. You get propolis and you get a silk wisp. Pretty cool. So these silk wisps, if you go to a carpenter and you put 9 of them in like this, they create woven silk. And as you can see, I have 7 woven silk on me already. Now these woven silk can be used for a couple of different things. So let's look at our backpacks. As you can see, I actually have 2 different ones. Sengir actually added a second tier to the backpacks. So if I take our miner's backpack, put it in the middle, surround it like this with woven silk, put a diamond on top, you get the woven miner's backpack. Now, as you can see, this has 15 spots, and the woven miner's backpack has a lot more spots. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It has 45 slots. No, it has 45 slots. 9. Boyfriend interrupting me while I'm recording. Anyways, so it has 45 slots. So, yeah, has a lot more slots. Now, something else that you can use this woven silk for, so I get some back, and I'll just grab a bunch more, is if we get a crafting table, which I should have had out, but I didn't. We'll put it down. We can actually make armor. So I have an Apiarist hat, an Apiarist chest, Apiarist trousers, and Apiarist boots or shoes. And I'll put these on. And as you can see, they don't provide a lot of armor, but boy, am I looking spiffy. I love how this looks. So, what the Apiarist armor does is anything that has effects, like the poison, there's some other ones that have effects. Basically, for every piece of armor you have, the effects are lessened. So, you know, if you have 1 piece of armor, you won't get poisoned as long. If you have all the pieces of armor, you won't get poisoned at all, which is pretty nice. So, if we look at some of the bees that there are, right? So, each of the highest tiers of bees, so the Imperial, the Industrious actually doesn't, but the Hell bees do. The highest one of Austere does. This one you saw was poison, and the Wintry Princess has freezing. Basically, all those effects are lessened to a point, except for the Imperial ones, because that one's actually a good effect, when you're wearing this armor. So if you look, our Imperial Princess has the effect of Beefic. And what does Beefic mean? Well, if we put her in one of our apiaries, with a drone, of course, so drone, and we'll just put her with whatever, it doesn't really matter. The queen, and we have all these purple effects around us, and as you can see, we have regeneration. So the Imperial Queen will now give regeneration while she's working. Pretty cool. So we'll take her out. And next, we will go find a desert for the other ones. The Wintry Queen, I'm not going to show you in the video, but the Wintry Queen, basically, if there's water in her area, she will freeze it. She actually does nothing to affect the player. but she will freeze things. So let's go find a desert, and I will set up some apiaries. Alright, I found a desert. So if we look at our sinister princess, you can see she has the trait of aggressive. See all this stuff. Alright, so basically what aggressive is if we put her not in a centrifuge, in an apiary, nothing happens. Well, that's because we have all the armor on. But if we take the armor off, we need to put in a drone. Doesn't really matter because queens will have the same traits as the princess. And ow, ow, yeah, they hurt. The fiendish princess, which is basically the second level, is also aggressive. And the third one is flammable. That's right, flammable. So if I take my lovely flammable queen and put her in with a random drone, let them mate, and stand here for a second, I'm now on fire. Awesome. So yeah, flammable. And now I'm fire again. Awesome. Apparently I fail at putting down blocks. Again. There we go. Alright, so next, yeah, so the last one is going to be the end of this little bee spotlight. So I just want to remind you before I end this that any comments, questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. And I hope you like it. I hope you have fun with all the new changes. So this is the austere princess. This is the highest level of the austere line, which is started by the bees we found in the desert, the modest bees. So if we look at her, we have the effect of creeper. Not gonna lie, when I saw this in alpha, I kind of went, what? So I'm going to do this without any armor on, because like I said, for every piece of armor, it lessens the effects, and I want you guys to see the full effects of this. So we're going to put in our austere princess, and our forest drone, and stand here, and wait, and it'll be fun. So now she's working, and I'm dead. That's right, she explodes. Have fun in forestry, guys. Bye.